the Golf Training House. So many recreational golfers have a problem with standing up at impact. Now, standing up at impact leads to a lot of swing flaws, and it's also a power leak. It reduces the power in your swing. So we certainly don't want to stand up at impact. Now, one way to help us reduce the tendency to stand up at impact is to think about where we place the force into our feet during the golf swing. Now, here's what I mean. When you place force into the front of your feet, let's say in the balls of your feet, as you place more force forward, you're going to fall forward. To counteract that, what are you going to do? Well, as you place more force forward, to counteract that movement, you're going to change the center of balance and do what? Well, you're going to stand up, like standing up at impact. Now, conversely, when you place force into your heels, the more force you place there, the more likely it is you're going to fall backwards. How do we counteract that? Well, as you place more force rearward, you're going to fold forward. Now, this movement is a hip hinge, and that's very important in the golf swing. Your hips move back in the golf swing. During your backswing, your hips move backwards. Into impact and through release, your hips move backwards, right? You're not swaying to the rear and to the front. They're moving backwards, and then into impact, you're extending out of that hip hinge position. It's a very important position. Now, it's easy to do when I'm just standing here. It doesn't take a lot of strength to do that. But during the high force, high velocity rotation of a golf swing, it requires some strength in your posterior chain, in particular your glute max, to hold this position and to get your hips moving backwards as you're rotating so quickly with all that force. And a lot of recreational golfers just don't have the strength in the posterior chain, in particular the glute max, to hold this position during the golf swing, so they tend to stand up at impact. So in the next video, we're going to work on a great exercise to help you improve the strength of the posterior chain muscles, in particular the glute max, and also help you train the feeling of getting force into your heels. So let's get started. So let's demonstrate it with a dowel first. Now, a Romanian deadlift is an exercise where you're going to send your hips backwards, just like you want to keep that hip hinge position. So I'm going to keep this bar engaged against my legs. I'm going to engage my shoulders. I'm going to keep a neutral spine. I'm going to put a slight bend in my knees, and then I'm just going to send my hips back and move the bar up and down. So my hips are going back, and the bar is just dragging across my legs. Engage your shoulders, slight angle in your knees. Keep that angle, your hips go back and down. What I'm not doing is trying to race to the bottom and by collapsing my shoulders. So it shouldn't look like this. When I get down here, I'm not trying to get further down. I just want to keep my shoulders engaged. My hips go back. I keep the bar against my legs, and I go down as far as I can. And the force is going through the back half of your foot. And it shouldn't look like this. It shouldn't look more like some kind of a half deadlift, half squat. And your weight shouldn't be on the front of your feet, on the balls of your feet. Your hips are going back. So let's do it with a bar. We turn this bar around. The first thing I'm going to do is deadlift the bar off the ground. So when I deadlift, I'm going to keep the bar close to me, keep my back in a neutral position, and I'm deadlifting it up. So once I'm in that position, get in the center of the camera here. So I'm going to engage my shoulders, keep the bar dragging across my pants, slight bend in my knees, and my hips go back, and I keep a neutral spine. So that's a Romanian deadlift. Let me deadlift this bar down. You don't need a barbell. You can do it with a dumbbell. So the same idea. I'm going to hold the dumbbell in front of me, engage my shoulders, Put a slight angle on my knees, keep them there, keep the angle there. You don't want to be bending like this. And my hips go back. So I can do the same thing with any kind of weight that you can hold in your hand. So the Romanian deadlift is a great exercise to strengthen the posterior chain of muscles in your hip, especially the glute max. And it also trains you to put force into the rear part of your feet so that you're not rocking forward and you don't have that tendency to stand up at impact. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. And if you'd like to learn more about golf training hacks, our courses, and our online coaching programs, check out golftraininghacks.com.